invocation this morning. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this day, and we're always grateful to get the opportunity to serve you and our community. We pray, Lord, that you give us wisdom as we go over the county's business today. Help us to make wise choices so that we can be a blessing to all who live here. Thank you again, Lord, for all you do for us. We do pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Join me in the pledge to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Okay, yourself, come on up here and get in. All right. I was all out of whack.
With the approach of Veterans Day, we have our first announcement here honoring Harrison County veterans, those folks that work for the county, and we are happy to have all these folks who served our country still serving our county. Just quickly, I'll run through these names. Darrell Bailey was in the Navy, Bob Cole, Air Force, Denise Lee in the Army, Thomas Spear in the Navy, Robert Perkins, Army, Dustin Townsend, Air Force and Navy, Josh Mercer, Navy, Noah Aguilar, Navy, Clayton Anderson, Navy, Doug Ashmore, Navy, Jared Bailey in the Army, Rocco Bruno in the Army, Ron England, Marines, Zachary Fountain in the Army, Jerry Hain, Marines, Joshua Hill, Marines, Kenneth Hines, Army, Clint Mathers, Army and Air Force, Jansen Maranto, Marines, Tracy Sepulvado, Marines, Larry Smith, Army, Nelson Valle, Marines, Joshua Van Buskirk, Army, Paul Vaughn, Army, Orlando Washington, Marines, Mike Young, Air Force, Kerry Easley, Army, Donald Hocutt, Navy, Tawana Brown Robinson, Army, Robert Miller, Army and the Texas National Guard, Jacob Stone, the Army National Guard, and Marvin Wilcox in the Army. Again, thank y'all. Thank you. Only one we got in here is Larry. Thank you, Larry. One announcement that I need to let you guys know about is we're going to need a special meeting 1 week from today. So put next Tuesday on your calendar. It'll probably be 9 a.m. just like normal. You guys know George Harmon from the Nietzsche group that handles our health coverage. He's going to come and lay out our costs and contracts for the next year. So that'll be next Tuesday, and we'll probably have a few other items as things come in. We'll just go ahead and take care of them next week instead of waiting 2 more weeks. So we'll see y'all back next Tuesday here. Don't have any public comments today. We do have a quorum present voting today. Precinct 1 is Commissioner Hatfield. Precinct 2 is Commissioner Timmons. Sims presiding. Precinct 3 is Commissioner Malden. Commissioner Ebarb does have jury duty today, so he is absent. We'll call our court to order. It's 9:04 a.m. here on the 7th day of November. We're in the historic courthouse in the County Commissioner's courtroom. First up on our agenda is from our auditor. These are administrative reports.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
You should have a copy of the September 2023 report. Please keep in mind these are unaudited and unadjusted financials. This is the last report for the fiscal year. There's still some minor adjustments that need to take place, but overall, this is what the fiscal year closed at. As of September 2023, we have a fund balance of $26,767,093. On page 2 is a summary of the general fund. As of September 2023, we have collected almost 25.2 million in revenue versus 23.9. That's an increase of 1.3. As you can see, the majority of it, of course, is related to the tax collection, but you'll also note that our investments earnings are significantly higher than what they were prior year. So, and the treasurer will have more information on the interest. Another area that we had an increase is in other financing sources. That is the donations primarily from Texas Eastern 911 for, I think it was equipment that they purchased, that they donated to us for us to purchase equipment for the sheriff's department. From an expense standpoint, we spent $23.4 million versus $22.6 million. That's an increase of $776,923, or 3.44%. The increase year over year is primarily due to our insurance liability. Each year that continues to increase, and that's in the general administrative section. But that is primarily our insurance that is increasing year over year. Another area is public facilities. If you'll remember, we paid off our energy savings debt last year. So that's the reason for the increase there for year over year. And the other area that increased significantly was our public safety. Of course, that is our overtime in our sheriff's department. In 22, we accrued comp time. In 23 was the first year that we paid out overtime. And even though we paid out overtime, we still had a surplus of funds because of the vacant positions. If you look at what our fund balance will grow, I don't think it will materially change, but within the general fund, I'm anticipating the fund balance to grow almost $1.8 million. So that's good management on the the employees of Harrison County, along with you all. If you'll notice, our health and welfare, we underspent by $576,000. That is our indigent. So that's what's driving that primarily, is our indigent care for our citizens. On page 3 is the net position of the general fund. In FY23, we collected $1.8 million more in revenue versus $1.3 in FY22. On our road and bridge fund on page 4, as of September, we collected $6.2 million in revenue versus $5.9. As you can see, that primarily is driven again by our property taxes. We had an increase in investment earnings again within the road and bridge fund. From an expense standpoint, we spent $5.8 million in expenses in FY23 versus $5.5. Keep in mind, none of the ARPA funds that we did for the contract labor, that is excluded in here. Pardon me. That's all in the ARPA fund itself. For road and bridge, we are anticipating that fund to increase in fund balance by about $400,000. On page 5 is the net position. FY23, we collected $400,249 more than what we spent versus FY22, which was $380,945. On page 6 through 11, is a summary of our revenue in comparison to budget. On page 12 through 16 is our summary of expenses in comparison to budget. And page 17 is the status of debt, which of course we have 0 debt. And that's all I have for September.
Any questions for Ms. Haynes on her administrative report, financial report? I have a question. You'd mentioned about the overtime being paid instead of us accumulating
Comp.
comp days. Does that seem to be working well, in your opinion? I mean,
Yes, what happens is because of the vacant positions that this primarily impacts
jail and
sheriff, the sheriff's department or sheriff's office and Willoughby. Those are the two that is where we incur our overtime because they're both understaffed. But in both of those departments, I mean, even though I looked at the sheriff's department before I came over here, so I remember those numbers. I don't remember the jail numbers. But in the sheriff's department alone, just strictly the deputies, their administrative staff, and dispatch, we paid $270,000 in overtime. And we still had over $100,000 underspent in salaries. And it's all because of vacant positions. Now, keep in mind that along with that is the insurance, because once someone is hired, you get almost $1,000 every time between they're eligible for insurance. So with as many vacant positions as they have in the sheriff's department, you see that favorability in overall salary expense. But that seems to be working well.
Good.
I'm not sure what the sheriff, his view on it, but from a financial standpoint, it seems to be working well. And we only budgeted $75,000 in overtime last year in each of those departments. And what would happen is every so often throughout the year, I would just transfer money from the salary line item to overtime to cover that shortfall in overtime that we were incurring.
very good, thank you. Next up, item number 1 is consideration and approval regarding line item transfers.
This is line item transfers for FY '23. We will potentially have one more. I've tried to account for as many things as I'm aware of that we can still post to FY '23. We can post to FY '23 until the end of November. So as long as it was received and we have the materials or the service was provided by September 30th, we can recognize that expense and it's not in FY '24. So we're trying to capture as many expenses as possible. So as of today, I am requesting transferring $36,180.47.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
One quick second. We have a motion by Commissioner Timmons and a second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments on our line items? Not all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Next up is consideration and approval of payment of regular bills.
Requesting payment of $918,135.83. And a third of that is related to the road and bridge contract work that we've had.
You guys have had a chance to review our expenses. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments on any of those? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Number 3 is consideration and approval of payroll for October 27, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Hatfield and a second by Commissioner Malden for our payroll. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Number 4 is consideration and action to approve a budget amendment pursuant to Local Government Code Section 111.0106. It's a special budget for grant or aid money. that section says the county auditor or the county judge in the county that doesn't have a county auditor shall certify to the commissioner's court the receipt of all public grant or aid money that is available for disbursement in a fiscal year but not included in the budget for that fiscal year. On certification, the court shall adopt a special budget for the limited purpose of spending the grant or aid money for its intended purpose.
This budget amendment is for net RMA, and I just noticed that on the budget amendment, the revenue line item description is incorrect. It should be net RMA revenue. The line item is correct, it's just the description's incorrect.
You'll get us an updated.
Yes, sir, I will get an
Sheet there.
updated copy for you.
All
But
right.
this is the Page Road net RMA project that we had.
Okay, and so we did receive those funds and the grant funds from that RMA, and that's the purpose of
Yes, sir.
this budget amendment for Page Road. Is there a motion to approve with the stipulation of correcting this line item?
Motion to approve with stipulation of correcting the line item.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd like to thank our road and bridge, Luke and Lisa, on getting that grant from, and thank Net RMA for providing it for us. Page Road has gone from, I think, around 10,000 vehicles a week before the school opened to over 15,000 a week now. So it was a project that was really needed to help provide us a safe and good road going toward the school.
Yep, Net RMA, I did go over and thanked them at their board meeting, and it went really well. They're super folks, and almost immediately after that, they approved us for another 3 times as big as this grant for Lansing Switch. So they're very helpful to us, and we'll keep asking until they say capital. We're appreciative of them. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions or comments? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Haynes. Next up is Road and Bridge. We'll hear his administrative report first. Good morning, Mr. Davis.
Good morning, Your Honor. Commissioners, how y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Y'all should have a bi-weekly report in front of y'all from October the 4th to October the 30th. In this same time frame, we've issued 67 permits. So there's still a lot of big truck traffic coming in through our office. Rayford's Truck and Tractor are still in the process of cementing on Airlight. They should stop chip sealing Macedonia today. So he's talking about a day, maybe 2 days to finish up Macedonia, and then they should be finished cementing on Airlight Road. So the weather's still been pretty good, so we're gonna keep going to just have to shut them down.
He believes he can finish by end of November, was that right?
Yes, sir. He's asked for another extension to the end of November. We're still seeing a couple of good warm days that's gonna be out there. We're having unusually warm weather right now, so we're gonna keep going as long as we can.
Very good.
The only remaining chip seal on one of our roads that we rebuilt was James Marshall Road. So he's gonna go ahead and get it while he's doing Macedonia, cause they intersect right there together. He's got all his equipment there. He'll go ahead and do James Marshall too. And, we'll be completed with the chip seal. Of course, we're still picking up trees from the June storm. We are starting to make progress on it. It's just going very slow, but we've got the bigger, most dangerous ones out of the way. So now we're going back and getting the ones that are more spread out and sporadic. But, so we're working on it.
How about Caver?
He did finish. He finally finished his up. Yes,
And
sir.
did I think there was some repair work or something you said they
Yes, sir,
needed?
they came back and they did the
Oh,
warranty
good,
work.
good,
And they did complete it and do a good job finally,
good.
after 3 years, of course.
All right,
And they
Very
did, go with the prices from the 2021, so.
good, very good, that's helpful.
Has Mr. McCracken, sent a crew down? You know, I had talked to you about, Old Town Road, and especially there on Old Town, south that goes towards Spanola County line.
No, sir, they have not moved there yet.
Yeah.
They're trying to get this done before the weather hits.
Well, I didn't know if he had could send a separate crew there, but at that approach there.
Yeah, he was going to, but then he split his crews to try to get through with these 2 last major jobs. So he can do that, touch-up work down there on Old Town, even if it's cool,
Yeah, yeah.
So he's trying to get through with this, where he's gotta use this oil and chip seal to beat the weather, so.
And I know he's very aware of it, because I know he's not as happy with it, especially there on the other end of it, from the 4,000 block back past Molly Lane
That's right.
and to 451, so it,
Yeah, he's definitely aware of it, and he sees it too, so.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, I've pointed it out to him, I've marked it, and he's aware of it.
yeah.
So we're definitely gonna hold him to it, he's gonna get it done.
And that work there is not restricted to the temperature.
No, sir,
And-
no, it's not,
And he can do that fog seal
in
deal
cooler weather.
in the weather. Okay, well,
We'll hold him to it.
I know you will. All right, that's it. Thank you, Luke.
Oh, you're welcome. And we have begun to, get our list up for our construction for 2024. So we're welcome to any input you got. We're gonna be putting out traffic counters, trying to get our more busier roads done. And we're still gonna try to fit in this, net RMA for the Lansing Switch project too. We're still hunting very hard to get all the funding, but I think we can pull it off.
Good deal.
Great.
All right, thank you, Luke.
Any other questions for Mr. Davis on his administrative report? If not, we'll move on to item number 1, consideration approval of personnel changes for Harrison County Road and Bridge.
There's been, one resignation, one lateral move since our last meeting.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Number 2 is consideration approval of the utility application submitted to Harrison County Road and Bridge Department as follows. Rockcliff Energy Operating, 1203 Floyd Evans Road. Rockcliff Energy Operating, 1207 Judge Fur Road. Rockcliff Energy Operating, County Road 1202 Old Town Road. East Tex Telephone Cooperative, 1212 Mount Zion Road. E-Tex Telephone Cooperative, 4711, which is Asa Johnson Road. E-Tex Telephone Cooperative on 4719, which is Gatlin Road. E-Tex Telephone Cooperative, 4713 Liberty East Road, and E-Tex Telephone Cooperative on 4720 Deerwood Drive.
Yes, sir, all these utilities apps have been inspected, and they meet our standard specifications outlined in our utility applications.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments on our utility applications? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Luke.
Next up's our sheriff. Morning, Sheriff Fletcher.
How are y'all this morning?
Good, good. First up's your administrative report.
Yes, sir. Administrative report for 10/4 through 10/31. We entered 2,159 calls for service. Took in 169 criminal reports. 41 of those reports were further investigated in the Criminal Investigation Division. 66 arrests by HCSO, 292 traffic contacts, 6 mental transports, or mentals were dealt with, 33 transports were done, for a total of 9,580 miles. We received 181 legal documents, served 90 personal services, 36 indictment precepts were served in the jail, 39 tax postings, 13 postings for county and district, for a total of 178 total served. 1,800 juror summons were sent out. The jail population average as of 11/1 was 248 inmates. We're housing a total of 21 contract inmates, 17 for the U.S. Marshal Service on federal prisoners, and 4 for Marion County's overpopulation. The Fire Marshal's Office did 1 citation, 18 inspections, 39 illegal dumping cases. We cleaned up, the Fire Marshal's Office cleaned up a total of 8,400 cubic foot of trash and debris. Adult probation, 750 cubic foot, Willoughby, 750 cubic foot, and the Sheriff's Office, 1,250 cubic foot, for a total of 11,150 cubic foot of trash removed from our county. We fielded 6 complaints, 1 notice of violations, 1 inspection, 13 utility hookups, did 1 single-family permit, did 18 of those for a total of $6,480. Commercial multifamily permit fees, did 1 for $560 for a total money that collected of $7,040. I look at Becky to make sure all that's matching up right.
And in your spare time.
And in your spare time. That concludes our monthly, which wasn't quite a month, it was a little shy of a month, but very busy nonetheless, nothing slowed down.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions? And I have a question back to what we were talking to Becky about. How is that overtime instead of comp time working for your office?
Great.
Seemed to help. I mean, I
Yes.
don't think it would.
It definitely makes it worthwhile coming to work when you get something to show for it on payday, versus a little time on the book that we're too short to give you to take. So,
Yep.
I think it helps with the morale, and I think it obviously helps with their paychecks and
Good.
and living expenses. So,
Very good.
Sheriff, are your job applications, have they picked up any?
yes, sir. Got one over there right now. I'm just gonna go back and talk to. We've picked 3 up since October the 1st, deputies, and putting 4 in the academy starting next Tuesday.
Okay.
Good.
Jailer still,
They're still coming in.
Still
Yeah,
coming in?
it's not
Great.
that bad. It's doing
Great.
pretty well.
Good news.
well, I shared your post on both those job openings, so hopefully getting the word out.
Thank
there.
you. That's the hard part.
And the salary's really nice round numbers, so I think it ought to be attractive.
Definitely more attractive than it was, and I appreciate the court and judge for y'all's help and all that.
You bet. You have one item here, Sheriff. This is consideration approval to accept a donation from David M. Thomas in the amount of $400 to be used for Harrison County Sheriff's Office K-9 program.
Judge, is that 2 checks, or did he send 400 this month?
Looks like 2 checks.
Okay, I think we missed the last check's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's 2 checks.
Obviously, we know Mr. Thomas donates every month. He's like clockwork. He's been very, very good to us for, I would say, over 2 years now.
I bet so.
He hasn't missed a month, so very grateful for him and his family.
We are too.
Rolling with us.
We have a motion to approve and accept the donation.
Motion approved.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Malden, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Thomas is not here. I know he's been busy, but I do want to just mention for our maintenance that they have or are finishing up with the 2 restrooms on the first floor in the new courthouse over there. And today, I believe they're headed over to our annex across the street to fix up the meeting room that's upstairs to begin that process. I met with him
Those guys do an outstanding job. They have saved us tens, thousands of dollars by doing it in-house.
Yep.
I can't imagine if we had to do outside contractors on these two bathrooms, because they stripped it down almost to the studs.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very appreciative. Have done terrific work. They look great.
Yep.
Very pleased with that. So if y'all see Brad and the maintenance guys, give them a big thank you. Nothing today from our IT department. That brings us to our treasurer. Good morning, Ms. Rushing. Our first item is consideration and action regarding the approval of the treasurer's monthly report for September 2023 and authorization to publish on the county website pursuant to local government code, section 114.026.
Beginning the month of September for our monthly report, we began with $5,163,000. Let me start over. $5,163,137.55. Receipts, $8,766,850.84. Disbursements, $8,376,431.12. And ending with $5,553,557.27, with our investments being $23,485,481.21. Our cash plus investments ending the month of September of 2023, our fiscal year, $29,039,038.48.
Is there a motion to approve our treasurer's monthly report for September 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and approval of the Harrison County Treasurer's investment report for September 2023.
For the month of September in Texas class, we began the month with $1,104,931.45. Interest earned $5,024.71. Ending balance in Texas class $1,109,956.16. With Ameriprise and Texas Bank and Trust Wealth Management, our investment total is $23,485,481.21. Texas Bank and Trust Money Market, we began the month of September with $3,515,216.85. Contributed $4,276,402.48. We withdrew $2,500,000. Our interest rate there is 5.25. We earned $100,583.09 in our money market. Ending balance was $5,392,202.42. In Texas Bank and Trust main account, we earned $1,410.93. Ending balance $1,645,828.34, with a monthly interest total of $107,018.73. Our yearly total for the interest for fiscal year 2023 was $991,287.29, short $8,712.71 of what's listed on the report. But thanks to the auditor making me aware of this, and on our budget report, we had budgeted for the fiscal year 2023, $512,580 for interest. We earned $1,047,761.23. That is due to, there's several accounts that the county earns interest on that's not collected on my investment report. So with that interest, we did go over $1 million for 2023 in earning interest. I don't think Harrison County has ever received that much interest in a fiscal year.
Interest rates helped too, didn't they?
Sir?
Interest rates helped us too.
Interest rates did help, and, I mean, that was a huge part of it, but also the planning of it and trying to strategize the investment as we needed the money, as we earned the tax money, and as we, figured we would be paying it out. That also played a part of it. And I want to thank the investment committee, which was Chad, our county judge, Chad Sims, our county auditor, Becky Haynes, and she's not on the investment committee, but her first assistant, Ani Lewis, played a major role in this as well.
Fantastic, well, great job.
And with that being said, since we did earn $1 million for the fiscal year, I would like to give y'all a piece of that $1 million.
All right.
As a small token.
Thank you.
$1 million piece.
I appreciate that.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I've gotten paydays before, but never $1 million.
Well, that's one that I'm proud to give out.
Thank you. That's
Thank
cool.
you, thank you.
Yeah,
That's pretty neat.
that is.
She played a huge part in this.
That was sweet. Thank you, ma'am.
That wraps up our Harrison County Treasurer's Investment Report for September 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Mullen. Any questions or comments on the report? If not, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Number 3 is consideration and approval of the quarterly fees paid to the state comptroller by the county treasurer for July through September 2023.
Yes, for the third quarter of 2023, we paid in civil fees report, paid to the state $26,979.24. We were able to retain $12.61. Criminal fees report, we paid the state $83,598.41, and we were able to retain $19,759.52. Electronic filing report, we paid the state $307.21. Sexual assault report, $110. Specialty court report, $238.40. Able to retain $26.49 of that. State safety seatbelt report, we paid the state $18.42, and we were able to retain the same $18.42. Total paid by the treasurer to the state was $111,251.68. Total that we were able to retain by filing the report timely, $19,817.04. E-filing that was already remitted to the state was $26,991.85, with a grand total of $158,060.57.
Is there a motion to approve our quarterly fees paid to the state comptroller?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions, comments?
That's almost $20,000 in we got back, for timely filing.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a $20,000 bar?
No, sir, I don't. I wish I did, but yes, we were able to retain close to 20,000 on that, and we can do that every quarter as long as we file our reports timely, or close to that amount anyway. Depends on the amount that we pay in.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have nothing under elections today, but you guys know that today is election day. So if you hadn't voted, there's a number of places around the county that you can go and stop by. Doesn't have to be your home precinct. We have open polling now, so you can go anywhere you want to and vote.
And it's quick, fast, and in a hurry.
There you go.
No time.
On to new business, item number 1 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the 2024 TxDOT Project ID M2419 MARS Routine Airport Maintenance Agreement to provide services and maintenance at the Harrison County Airport. We call this the RAMP grant, Routine Airport Maintenance Program, usually what it's called, RAMP. Just so you know, this program's been updated, and now it's a 90-10 match instead of a 50-50 match. It was up to $100,000 for any maintenance that we did out there. The county would have to pay 50%, and the state would pay 50%. TxDOT would. So now it's 90-10. So the state will pay $90,000, and we only have to pay $10,000 to get maintenance done at the airport. So it'll really,
That's sweet.
really help us save some money out there. It ought to be a nice, positive variance for our airport budget, because I don't think we planned for that. It's a new program, which is great. So you guys have had a chance to review this RAMP agreement. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Item number 2 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the Harrison County Airport hangar lease between Harrison County and the lessee. We'll mention those below, commencing on October 1, 2023, and ending on September 30th, 2024. And this includes the aircraft registration for said hangar. We got a number of these. Hangar number 15, the lessee is Dickie Casey. Number 18 is Kenneth Volk. Number 24 is Chad Sims. Number 25, again, Kenneth Volk. 27 is Lloyd Curry. 29 is Chad Beach. 31, David McAlpine. 32 is David McAlpine. 34 is Jason Barnhill. 36, Bill Holyfield. 40 is Chris Danhauser. And 42 is Jason Costanza. These are all T-hangar leases, and those new T-hangars just south of the terminal building there. And they're all renewing here for October 1st. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Item number 3 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the Harrison County Airport ground lease, tenant constructed hangar number 9 between Harrison County and the Lone Star Wing. That's the Commemorative Air Force, commencing on January 1, 2023, and ending on December 31, 2057, and aircraft registration for said hangar. This is one of those 35-year ground leases that we've done with a number already of our tenants at the airport for the tenant-built hangars. This one is owned by the Commemorative Air Force, the Lone Star branch here. We had discussed making them a nice deal. They're a nonprofit, do their fundraising to try to offset their expenses. This term for 35 years includes their base rent of $10 per year. Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to make that motion.
I second it.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments?
That is a special group. I've been out there several times at some of their fly-ins, and it is a bunch of great folks out there. So if anybody, anytime that comes up and you know about it, go out there and spend a Saturday with those guys. It's fun. It is fun.
I know Ms. Graff and Darby in my office have been working on putting together a fly-in for Wonderland of Lights. It'll be in conjunction with all the Wonderland of Lights programs, so we'll hopefully have our terminal decorated up a little bit. We'll have a bunch of airplanes out there. December 19th? 16th.
16th,
December 16th. It'll be a fun time out there.
day after my birthday. Thank you, Ms. Graff. That's great.
So, certainly the Lone Star Wing, they'll be in full force out there. They always are.
They're
It'll be a
great
good time.
guys.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Item number 4 is consideration and approval of the 23 through 24 annual contracts and authorization of payment of budgeted amounts in the FY 23-24 budget for the contract and authorization for the county judge to execute said contract. We have a number of these contracts. You guys should have been able to review them, from the Historical Society, Women's Center of East Texas CASA, Harrison County CASA, Wascom Public Library, East Texas Area Agency on Aging, the Literacy Council, the Martin House, which is the Children's Advocacy Center, and East Texas Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. Is there a motion to approve these annual contracts?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments on any of these? We have reviewed them. They are all in our budget. These are budgeted items and will be paid out according to the contract. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Number 5 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the renewal of the airport liability Old Republic Insurance Company policy PR 00243616 in the amount of $2,291 on invoice number 37475 for the 23-24 year and payment of said invoice. So this $2,300 invoice gives us additional liability coverage out at the airport to protect the county. That's the purpose of this. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Malden, second by Commissioner Timmons. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Item number 6 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the Harrison County, Texas America 250 Commission to be composed of 5 members to include the appointments as follows. You guys remember we did this at our last meeting 2 weeks ago, but we were short 2 members, so this clears it all up and gets our total 5 members on this board. Ted Huffines from Precinct 1, Steve McFarland from Precinct 2, Carol Greer from Precinct 3, Kevin Green from Precinct 4, and Ron McGregor, who I recommended for the position. So this will complete that. Is there a motion to approve this committee?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Timmons, second by Commissioner Malden. Any questions or comments? We're certainly thankful and appreciative to all of these folks who are willing to serve, and it'll be a really neat event for our county and of course our state and nation. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. Next up, number 7 is consideration and action regarding the approval of the 2023 through 2024 interlocal agreements for ambulance rescue, public library services, and animal shelter services between Harrison County and the city of Marshall.
Motion.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Timmons, a second by Commissioner Hatfield. Any questions or comments on these interlocal agreements? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 4-0. That brings us to our last item. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hatfield, second by Commissioner Malden. All in favor?